Be ready for dictation. 5 seconds. Start. The interest income arose on account of the fund so received and it may not have been utilized for a certain period of time, being put in fixed deposits so that the amount does not lie idle, full stop. That the income generated was again applied to the disbursement of grants and loans, full stop. The income generated from interest is necessarily interlinked to the business of the appellant corporation and would, thus, fall under the head of profits and gains of business or profession, full stop. There would, therefore, be no requirement of taking recourse of section 56 of the IT Act for taxing the interest income under this residuary clause as income from other sources, full stop. In our view, to decide the question as to whether a particular source of income is business income, 1 would have to look to the notions of what is the business activity, full stop. The activity from which the income is derived must have a set purpose, full stop. The business activity of the appellant corporation is really that of an intermediary to lend money or give grants, full stop. Thus, the generation of interest income in support of this only business, not even primary, for a period of time when the funds are lying idle, and utilized for the same purpose would ultimately be taxable as business income, full stop. The fact that the appellant corporation does not carry on business activity for profit motive is not material, as profit making is not an essential ingredient on account of self-imposed and innate restriction arising from the very statute which creates the appellant corporation and the very purpose for which the appellant corporation has been set up, full stop. Our view funds support from the judgment in the sole trustee, Lok Sikana Trust versus the Commissioner of Income Tax, Mysore, full stop. In view of the aforesaid finding, the crucial issue would be whether the amounts advanced as grants from this income generated could be adjusted against the income to reduce the impact of taxation as a revenue expense, full stop. If it is revenue expense, the amount can be deducted, but if it is capital expense, then the answer would be in the negative, full stop, para. The facts before us clearly set out that undoubtedly the amount received to be advanced as loans and grants by the appellant corporation from the central government are treated as capital receipt, full stop. In fact, if it was otherwise, they would have become taxable in the hands of the appellant corporation, full stop. Over this, there is no dispute, full stop. The line of argument on behalf of the appellant corporation was, however, predicated on a plea that assuming it to be so, the grants in bracket and not loans bracket close cannot be treated as a capital expenditure, as neither any enduring advantage or benefit has accrued to the appellant corporation nor has any asset come into existence which belongs to or was owned by the appellant corporation, full stop. Thus, what may be a capital receipt in the hands of the appellant corporation may still be a revenue expenditure, and it is in that context that the observations in Adern versus British Insulated and Hasby Cables Limited referred to in Commissioner of Income Tax, Bombay versus Associated Cement Companies Limited, Bombay were relied upon. Full stop. Over.